¿Qué ondas, primos?
Primas.
Y primes.
Welcome to
My Primos.
My Primos.
My
Primo
podcast. Welcome to the My Primos podcast.
My name is Fredie.
My name's Kevin Garcia.
My name is Elia Maria Madrid.
My name is John Abina.
This is Chikume, whenever I can make it.
My Primos podcast discusses all things fandom and pop culture,
From comic books,
Movies?
To whatever obsession we have this week.
but with a Latine
Malatine.
perspective. Remember, we're all primos,
We're all primes.
Primas.
Primos.
no matter what part of the world we're from.
¿Qué onda, primos, primas, y primes? And welcome to My Primos podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Elia Maria Madrid, aka Spice Illustrations, aka your favorite. Maybe. I don't know. It doesn't have to be.
Honestly, everybody's favorite.
No, it's opinion-based solely.
Listen, of all the Elias that we have hosting this podcast, you are the best.
You're just saying that.
I
You're
am.
just well, that's okay, as long as you're honest. But joining me, the sassafras right over here, Mr. KevinGarcia.com. Say what's up, Kevin.
What's up, Kevin?
Yay!
See,
Well-
now, wait, say what's up, Elia.
What's up, Elia?
See, now Freddie's not here to stop us doing that, so it works out really well.
We just keep saying it over and over. But tonight, y'all, we are here with another guest. Y'all know we love bringing on people in La Comunidad who are making waves in the pop culture world. We have Richard Santana from Indgo Comics. Say hello, Richard. Introduce yourself. Let us know who you are. Say what's up.
Hi guys, my name is Richard and I'm from California. My parents are actually from Mexico, so I do speak Spanish as well. And I've kind of been living on and off in Asia, so I've learned a little bit of Mandarin Chinese as well. But it's very nice. It's very nice meeting everyone and being here.
Definitely got better language skills than I do. I can guarantee you that.
Not just bilingual, it's a trilingual, the triple threat. Love it. Well, that's awesome. We have a lot to discuss tonight with the amazing, successfully funded comic to discuss, as well as things that are coming from that. Should we just get into it and see what this comic's all about?
Yeah, talk to us about Indgo Genesis. How did this come about? What first off, backtrack.
The elevator pitch.
How would you describe this to somebody to get them to pick it up the first time? What's the pitch for this comic?
That's actually the hardest part for me to do.
Yeah.
Of course.
I'll try my best. Well, it's centered around 5 characters that are in space. This is after a very catastrophic event that happened in the world. So it's like a solar flare. It kind of destroys everything. There's no fossil fuels. There's no solar electricity. So they're mining helium-3, which is a kind of the next level of energy, and they're trying to they're trying to rebuild, kind of like the life back on Earth. And then another post-apocalyptic event is about to happen, and they're going to try to save themselves as well as their family, and they're going to build a very close relationship with each other.
So I like the setup. You got the end of the world, which again we kind of gotten used to in today's. It's funny. I'm also a teacher, and I used to joke with my kids that every generation has this big event that they're going to think about. My current batch of students, they've had like a big event every month. So yeah, they're just end of the world, just like they're ready for it.
Every sort of apocalyptic title that comes out, it's like pseudo training material. It's like we're taking notes on the side as well. Like
exactly what I was thinking. Like, all right, so we're gonna set up on the moon. What do we do? So Richard, how did this come about? How did you get involved with your partners there?
Well, the main idea of the story, I was working for a video game company, and sci-fi is my favorite genre. So I grew up with like Blade Runner, Terminator. These type of older classic sci-fi movies, Mad Max, and I wanted to write my own story. And while I was working at this video game company, they didn't give me a lot of the opportunities to work on that. So they did give us a lot of time to kind of research and build up some ideas. So what I was doing on the side was kind of, constructing this world of Indgo. And I pitched it to my co-creators who are Marcus and Jacob, and we kind of just went with it. But that's kind of like how the idea first started.
Actually, I like that on the comic. It says writer, artist, then it says producers. Marcus Lorelo and Jacob Youssef, and I don't usually see that in comics. Usually, there'll be editors or publishers, but producers, it's kind of a cool description.
Mm-hmm.
Do they help you like with the story, or maybe just help you, encourage you to like keep going with it, that kind of stuff?
They do a lot of the the business side of everything, because of course there's a lot of marketing involved. There's a lot of PR. So Marcus covers a lot of the marketing side. Jacob covers a lot of the PR, and we kind of it kind of works out. Like we all have like our share of the work, and I would never have been able to do it without them. So it's kind of like we're dividing this pie into 3 parts and trying to do everything we can just to get this out there to as many people as we can.
I always say the business side of things is the hardest. I also make indie comics, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I always say, I love to write, I love to edit, I love to work with artists and all that stuff, but I don't want to be the business end. I want somebody else to. I realized how that sounded when I said it out loud. I did not mean to sound that way. But I don't want to be in charge of it. I want somebody else to run the thing. You know what I mean?
It's important. It's such an important part of the comic backbone that like creatively we don't think about it on the forefront, but when it's all put together, it's a big chunk of the haul to get it to the finish line for sure.
Right.
Now, on that note, you guys go ahead. What did you say, Richard?
Sorry, can you say that again?
All right, just doing this real quick. So we're saying that having the business side of things is a really important part of making a comic. Do you want to add any more on that?
Well, we're kind of building a community, and it's our first Kickstarter project, so we weren't sure what to expect. We did work with another third party that kind of does help other, creators have a successful campaign, and they really taught us, the ropes on how to start a Kickstarter. And in our community, we had a lot of discussions, and a lot of people said they liked our project and as well as other projects, but they were surprised that those other projects were not successfully funded, and they kind of just wanted to know, what did we do different? And I think the most important part was the preparation. There's at least 2 or 3 months that we prepared just for the Kickstarter, mostly doing marketing and testing. If anyone out there wants to start their own Kickstarter and doesn't know how, definitely prepare yourself before. Don't just throw your Kickstarter on there and just expect it to, pick up.
Yeah, for sure.
What kind of testing did you do? I'm out of curiosity. Did you guys like social media and stuff like that?
Well, because we didn't have a community, nobody knew us. We have to do marketing and ads, so we have to pay for that. And part of that in the beginning is throwing out different artwork. So it could be like different covers or maybe characters. Try one character versus another character, and the data will kind of tell you which ad has more impact. Definitely very important. And you don't want to be spending money, because it's not cheap either, right? To run ads.
Yeah.
So you kind of do a little bit of testing, and you don't go all in on one image or one set of copy. The copy is also important. You kind of just test out what titles work with which images, and then you finally get your best result, and then you go all in on that.
Such a science, like just crowdfunding in general, because it isn't just like, okay, I have the final product here. It's not just selling it. You're showing the absolute backbone of it all, not just the project itself, but how you're going to get it from start to finish, and have just a group of not just your community, but hopefully grabbing strangers to be like, trust me, I will make this happen. It's gonna continue being great. It's like it, and the fact that like I went to your Instagram because I wanted to see like what did the journey look like, because I always get so inspired by successful Kickstarters to want to like do my own, and just seeing the build up from like the development, the art teasers, the story teasers, and this was all like months in advance before it even launched. So like that's really cool that you took the time to tell the story before the story was available to be sold, and basically market it out there for people to finally be like, all right, let's go, I'll invest in it. So no, it's really cool, and it's very important that that's the journey y'all went on to kick this Kickstarter's butt. That's amazing.
Yeah, and another thing on that, it's like we can't actually tell our audience what we're about, because when you have an ad, you have a very limited amount of text.
Yeah.
So the artwork is probably the most important part of the ad itself, because that's what pulls them in, and then you tell the story as they start looking into you.
So who's the artist that you worked with?
So Marcus, and that's one of the reasons why he's a producer in there as well, is because he's the one who went out and was searching for artists, and we didn't limit ourselves to like countries or anything. He kind of just, when he brought up artists he found from like Korea, Philippines, Brazil, and finally we landed on an artist in Argentina. His name is, we call him August or Augustine. And
Augustine Morrison?
Yes. So August, we felt that his artwork really matched what we were trying to look for, because not everybody's doing sci-fi and kind of like gritty art. Some of them like doing anime style or more like cute animal style. Everybody has their own style. So we just thought August fit ours better.
Well, it definitely worked, because you look at your Kickstarter, your goal was 2,000, which I think is usually about fair for a single issue of a comic, which you guys were making part one, but you raised 19,581, which is a little bit beyond 2,000.
At least double. Amazing.
Thank you.
So, how did it feel watching that happen? Were you like worried at all when it launched, putting in the money into advertising and everything else?
Yeah, we were definitely worried, because obviously we had spent more than 2,000 on the whole project, but the way we prepared everything, we were kind of like, we're sure we were gonna meet our goal, but we weren't sure how much we were gonna exceed it, which was the part that got us worried. But it's all part of the process. I mean, you can't run a project without these kind of things.
Well, when you talk about exceeding it, that's because like that 2,000 goal was like the hope, but that probably wouldn't have covered all of publishing or all of advertising and all that stuff, right? You did need a little bit more to make sure that happened, right?
Yeah, our perspective was like, if we only got 2,000, we would go into printing and we would ship everything, and we're building towards a long-term, of building a community that slowly is going to start loving Indgo, and because we have so much to offer. We don't have just comic books. We have a TCG, which we can expand more on later on, and we actually have a lot of merchandise as well.
TCG,
a trading card game.
What can we know? What are we allowed to know right now about it?
No, you can ask me anything you want about on it.
Well, definitely. Is this? I'm assuming based in the world of in the world of Indgo. Is it the same characters? Is it like people? How does it work?
Yeah.
Okay. The way it is expanding is that because of this catastrophic event that's happening, a lot of other species are gonna rise. Some of them could be robotic, half human, like cyborgs. They could be also other new species. We have an aquatic species called Tellurians. I don't know if you've seen this page, but we have some images on there of these other. We call them factions, because that's the word that best fits for a TCG. So there's going to be at least 6 factions that show up in the first 2 parts of the story. And the way the TCG works is that you're going to collect the cards. So that's part of the trading card aspect of it. You're going to buy packs, or you can buy what we're going to later release is the full game, which will come with 2 factions. And basically what you do is you're going to choose your faction that you want, and then you choose your faction leader, and then you battle your friends with, one faction versus another. And you can switch. You can use like the synth faction to battle your human faction friend, or you can do vice versa. You can do Tellurians. Later, we're going to bring out 3 more factions. So in our first Kickstarter, we already presented 3 factions, but to play the actual game, you're going to need more cards, which is what we're going to release with the TCG. So we have part 1 already finished. Part 2 is coming out, and it's going to tell the other half of the story. And then the TCG Kickstarter will come in third right after that.
Do you have like a time frame you're aiming for? Like when would part 2 come out of the book, or when would the card game be able to be like? Do you have like a target like that you're aiming for right now?
So right now, our artist is finishing up part one. He's got, out of the 70 pages, he has about 65 done. So he's almost done. And
Nice.
yeah, we're just waiting on him to finish that. Then we'll do the final details, add the lettering, and hopefully we can get this out, part one out by late October, November. And then he'll get started right away, probably in September, probably get started on part two. And we're going to bring in another artist to help him out so that we can split up the work. And hopefully they can finish part two by maybe April. But the actual Kickstarter, we want to launch in early February. So if we launch it in February, it'll run until March. That's part two. And then we'll finish in March. We're trying to go as fast as we can, actually, because I've already written the script all the way out to part three, which we don't even know if we can. We don't know if we can release part three even next year. We're trying to go step by step, but hopefully we can launch the TCG in around this time, August 2026.
Next year.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's building the community, like you were saying earlier, building readers and people waiting to come back for more. I like that.
Yeah.
What has the response been in terms of like communication from the backers or people on Instagram or other social media? Like, have you been hearing from people? Like, what have they been asking?
Oh yeah, for sure. We started out with a Facebook group first, and they were our VIPs. So we launched the ads, and then the people who responded first, who got on our email list, we started putting them into a Facebook group. But then when we launched the Kickstarter campaign, we opened up a Discord channel, which is a little bit more popular, I think, among comic fans. And our Discord now is like alive. Every day we have new questions, all types of questions, all types of discussions. Yeah, and it's our first time doing this, so it's really amazing. And honestly, we feel really proud of ourselves for being able to build this kind of thing. I don't think it's that easy. It's been a lot of work, but it's worth it. Yeah, it's definitely worth it.
No, it's definitely something to celebrate. That, especially like the community building aspect of it. Like, that's one part that a lot of projects don't go into, and the fact that you have that, and it's going to continue. It's just going to keep growing with the world that you're building. Amazing. And I can't wait. I can't wait for the rest of it now. I'm ready to see where it goes. I love a good apocalyptic story.
Sci-fi has always been like my favorite area too. Something about dreaming for the future. Like, even when it's a bad future, there's just some neat stuff. You work in video games, right? Could you see this becoming a video game project down the line?
Definitely. We just have so much that it's hard to plan things out. I've actually already part of my passion is also product design. So I worked with Jacob. I met Jacob first, and Jacob introduced me to Marcus once we went the comic book route. But I actually talked to Jacob, a lot. He's one of my friends from college, so I've known him for over 10 years. And I told him about, these products that I would design. Just in our daily conversations, I would tell him like, hey, look at this speaker I designed. And then he'd be like, oh, you know what? We could actually sell that. And then I do a backpack. I do different products. And I actually, because I visit China often, and Asia in general, because there's a lot of factories out here that are willing to work with especially American customers, because the US market is so big. And I just tell them like, hey, I'm from the US. I have this idea. They're like, oh yeah, come. We'll make you a prototype. And that's been also an exciting journey. But at the same time, it's like, okay, we have a comic, we have a TCG, we have merchandise. Like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's just so much that we have to pace ourselves. So that's how we've been trying to, kind of give us enough time to do every part. And I think we've done good so far. We're not delayed or anything, so that's good so far.
Do you incorporate those designs into this comic? Like, for example, like if you designed like a cool headset or backpack or anything, would you have the artist put that into the book?
Yeah. So the way that this, maybe I'm not like your regular product designer or your regular writer, because the way that I see things, it's a little bit different. It's kind of, some people might think like, oh, is he trying to escape the real world or something? But it's just like I get so immersed in world building that everything I do kind of connects together. So like I'm making these products. I'm like, oh, what if this was like a product from the future? And then that gets me started into what kind of future would that be? What kind of people would be in this future? So I connect all of these things together. The TCG actually ties in really well into the story. And it's funny that you brought up the community, because a few days ago, one of our backers said that he would be really interested in a tabletop RPG game. And I told them that, you know what, that would fit very well after part 3, because our story kind of expands. Our story is like this. It's just expanding just more and more. And I told him, like, you know what, that's something we could do in the future, definitely after part 3. And everything just fits in so well, which is good.
TTRPG.
I know. I've been talking lately. I miss it. I used to play weekly vampire games, actually. And since, the Interview the Vampire has been big lately, I've been remembering playing those games and back to the tabletop. But you talk about getting into the world building and stuff. Your story takes place, years after there was an apocalyptic event. Could you describe a little bit about the world before the story starts? Like what happened between now and 2064? What happened in the middle?
The most important part is that we reached the technological singularity. I don't know if you're
the technological singularity,
yeah, basically where technology surpasses human capability of understanding and knowledge, and it's just so far out there that we don't even understand it anymore. I don't know if this is like saying too much, but maybe not. Basically it's almost that this technology almost takes over the world. And then the solar flare happens and kind of destroys it. And it also destroys everything else, and technologically, electronic devices. So the world of, let's say, between now and 2064 is a world that is rebuilding. So think about Mad Max, but it's not that desolate. It's not like, a desert. It's Mad Max where there's like marauders and gangs that kind of rule the lands, but it's still a community that's still building. It's still semi-functional, and there's been threats, right? We have this like AI threat that rose up and then died, and then everybody's kind of like trying to use technology to rise back up, but they're also afraid of it. I don't know if that paints a picture, a clear picture of it.
It really does.
Yeah.
It's funny. You talk about, technological singularity and people becoming like really relying on it, but then it gets knocked out. I keep thinking about AI in today's world. People are becoming more and more dependent on AI. And, I'm just imagining it suddenly being pulled out and everybody being like, what do we do?
Yeah. How do we make things? Oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Given that AI is really big in the news lately, was that part of your concept of like what you wanted to involve in this, or was that something that just good coincidence?
To be honest, I'm like a futurist. I don't know if you've heard the name, but it's people that just they dream about what the future might be, not in like a fantasy way, but in like a more a realistic way.
Yeah, based on what things are now, where they will be later. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's part of the reason why I have such a creative mind for products, because I'm always thinking like, man, I really want to create a product that nobody's ever seen before, that has new technology, but as well, it's not very complex. And I think that's the most difficult part about creating a product, creating something new. But that's just something that really, I like spending time on that. It's fun for me. And that's kind of where I'm coming from.
Now that we've hit the finish line, we've got the next episode that's coming out next month. We've got the trading card game. Is episode 3 like just the end of the story, or is this just like a chapter and we're going to expand on that even more, or is it just base level? Then the universe is just going to expand even more in a separate story.
So the best way I can describe it is that it's similar to Star Wars, because Star Wars. They came out with 3 parts, and then after they kind of backtracked and went 3 parts before, and then they went forward 3 parts. So
Yeah.
I really feel like that's the direction we're going in, because as I started building out the first 3 parts, I had a lot of questions, like, okay, I need to know stuff about these characters before part 1. So then I started building out,
That makes sense.
part -1, -3. So,
Yeah.
or I don't even know how to describe it, but so I built out the first 3 parts, and I've during that I worked on the 3 parts before, because I wanted to know what the characters, what the past was like, the past events, and then as well, I know that there's gonna be 3 parts after. There's no finish line, anywhere in sight at the moment.
I love that though.
So I guess that means part 1, 2, and 3, just like the first 3 Star Wars movies, will be a complete story. But then you could have like another trilogy or another. Yeah, I love that, expanding the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you ever see like? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and there's just so much more that's coming out that there's no end in sight for the moment. Like, I actually have 9 factions planned out, so 3 parts. Each part has 3 new species. It doesn't have to be a species. It could be a type of human or type of robot, but it's just like a different, either from a different world or a different type, if that makes sense.
It does. Would you ever want to do spotlights on specific characters?
Are you talking about like origin stories, or?
Yeah, like, well, origin stories or like side stories even.
I've actually,
like, as you said, it's a kind of an ensemble right now, right?
So as I've mentioned, like the 3 parts before part 1, those are actually origin stories mostly. So it's like our characters, and it's what's happening in the world before 2064, and also involving the main character. So it's like origin stories, as well as developing, what the world was like before our current part 1.
That makes sense. I'm really hoping that the ball keeps rolling with that, because when you get this much attention for your Kickstarter, I noticed it was like one of the, what is it, the how do they call it, projects we love. My first Kickstarter was that too, and I loved it. My second Kickstarter wasn't, and I was like, man, they don't love me anymore. But no, I mean that it's always cool to get that kind of attention. So hopefully that momentum just keeps going.
For sure, yeah.
This whole journey
I
is
think
just,
after. Oh no, go ahead.
Nerve-wracking.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think having this Kickstarter kick off as great as it did, seeing the reach that you've got, plus you're taking late pledges as well for anyone who's getting that after the finish line momentum, and it's like, oh, did I miss my chance? It's like, no, you come on in, get in line, be part of the group, welcome to the table. It's like it all just, if you keep the momentum, it just goes up, keeps bouncing, the world will keep growing.
Hopefully.
And that's awesome. Yeah. For sure.
Hey, Richard, I want to thank you very much for being on here. I think after we finish talking with you, Ellie and I are going to talk about some more stuff. So guys, stay with us. But Richard, how can people find you online? How can they find out about Indgo online? I keep saying Indigo. It's Indgo.
Indigo.
There's no I in the middle.
There's no I in the middle. Yeah. Because this is the future. So it's like Indigo actually stands for this kind of I feel like SpaceX is a good example, but they don't have a really good reputation. But it's
Blue Origin.
I feel like they all don't have like a good reputation right now, mainly because of their leaders. But it's Indgo is the, let's say, organization that the main characters work for. There's a lot of mysteries that are going to be unraveled throughout the story, so I don't want to give out too much, but basically, they are the ones that are leading this helium-3 mining. They're the organization that are kind of pulling humanity forward, technologically, and trying to get them into off planet or off world. But Indgo is the name, and it just made sense that it's the company name in the future will be a little bit different. Kind of like SpaceX is, kind of shortening words. I don't know if you've noticed this, but like company names tend to get shorter as we progress.
Anything they can do to like trademark their company name, so it's like it's a familiar word, but one that we can own. That's all it comes down to.
So that's just a little bit preview of why the name, why it's called Indgo, and why there's no I in it. It's just kind of like a trendy organization in the future.
So on social media, you guys are Indgo Comics, but that's INDGO Comics, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Indgo Comics.
Where else can people find you online, man?
If you want to check out kind of what we're up to, I would go to our social media, of course, which is at Indgo Comics. It could be either Instagram or Facebook. If you want to become part of our Discord or anything, you can reach out to us there. We do have a website. I believe it's indigocomics.com, but that's not where you'll see like what we're up to. That you'll just see kind of our main landing page.
I imagine eventually you'll have the site where people can go there and then head toward the Discord and stuff like that.
We have links to everything, I'm sure, and you can go you'll find us everywhere. Like if you go to Instagram, you'll find our website name, you'll find our other, we have Threads, we have Blue Sky, we have a lot of social media that Marcus kind of handles on his side. So
it's so good having somebody in charge of that.
Yeah. And if y'all go check out the Kickstarter, number one, y'all can back it late, but they also have all the links on there. So go join their Discord if you want to be in the loop. So
I do love that you can go and back after. Like it's already done. We already know what's happening, but you can still be part of it. So that's really cool. All right. Richard, thank you so much for being on.
Yeah.
Primos, we'll be back in just a few moments after this music. But man, it's been a blast.
Heck yeah. I'm excited.
Thank you.
Keep your helmet on.
Of course.
Cumbia. La vida sigue, la gente llora, el zapato vuela junto a tu boca, la gente cruza, los carros chocan y uno todo ignora. La vida es una corriente sin salida, aquella rosa marchitada. La vida es una corriente sin salida, aquella rosa marchitada, como si nada es olvidada.
And that was Sin Color. We love having them here. We're so glad they're part of the Primo family. And of course, we just had Richard Santana on with us talking about Indgo, which was, I mean, it's part of the future. And that's kind of the point.
It is. Yeah.
Speaking of the future, there's something that's been out for a while that everybody's been talking about. But as I understand, you just saw it. Elliot, have you seen Superman?
I have. I finally was able to this past weekend. It was great.
Was it super?
It was super. And there was a man.
Okay. Was it fantastic?
I mean, it was in comparison to the other Fantastic movie. I'm not sure yet. Have not watched the other one.
Fair enough.
But no, no, I found it quite enjoyable. Like, again, for context, if this is your first episode with us, I'm not a comic girl.
Despite being a comic girl.
Well, like DC Marvel, I guess I should be more specific. So yeah, I just went in like, okay, yeah, Ray loves Superman. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to go have fun for them. And the movie itself made me feel a lot of things. Like, I got really pissed off at for the right reasons. Like, I was very much seeing it felt like a mirror. Like I was watching government officials be nasty and just use technology for evil. And I'm like, oh my gosh, is this movie about us? Yeah. I was like, oh my God, is this movie about us? Yeah. And so I was just getting angry when the government official came up. I'm like, is this Yada Yahoo? Oh my God. It was making me so mad, but in a good way. Like it was evoking that emotion. I had a great time with it. I thought, it's so hard for me to get into like superhero stuff because of like how serious they take the camp part of it. But this one, I feel like they embraced the comic camp really well.
I'm telling you, as soon as I found out this one had the dog and the robots, I was like, I'm in.
The dog.
I'm in.
Yeah. The robots were really good.
The dogs, and the dog rather, not dogs, dog and the robots have been part of Superman mythos since the 50s, and they've never been in live action. Not in the movies anyway.
Yeah, no, the dog stole my heart. The actual star of the movie, in case anyone didn't know. But no, it was really great, and I'm a big fan of, and I forgot his name. Clearly, I'm not a big fan. Nicholas Hoult.
Yes.
And as Lex Luthor,
You know, he wouldn't have been my casting choice, but he worked so well. In the role.
He did. I was like, you are nasty, sir. You are being very nasty. But I love your work. You know, it was a great performance. Made me really hate him. And something that I brought up with Ray that I don't talk about a lot is the scenic aspects of movies. I love scenic details when it comes to movies or just any sort of like performance, whatever. I love looking at the scenery of everything. And like one thing that I really liked was, and it's so weird and like in a box, but like the feeling that office scenes had, like when they were all in that like not the Oval Office, but like the office where all of them were in there.
The Luthor
like,
office?
Yes. Like it was just so well done that it made me feel like trapped and whatever. I also want to give a shout out to during one of the climactic fights, they smashed into a vacuum convention. I don't know if anyone caught that's what it was. No. Yeah. I was like, this is a convention. What is this for? And I kept on looking at all the signage in the background. It was for vacuums. It was a vacuum convention. So
I feel like that's a real thing that happened in the 60s or something.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I was like, you know what? Hell yeah. Like, I'm sorry that the vacuum convention got like ruined and y'all had to evacuate in the middle of it.
They had to evacuate.
Evacuate.
Okay, there's one scene specifically I want to ask you about.
Okay.
So the squirrel. James Gunn said that scene did not test well with audiences, so they removed it. And then after they removed it, James Gunn's like, you know what? No, we're going to put it back in anyway. So I want to ask, how did you feel about the squirrel scene? How would you feel if it wasn't there?
So I was pre-warned about the squirrel scene.
Oh, that's too bad.
No, I know. But like having seen it now, like I had a giggle in it. If it was taken out, I probably wouldn't have felt any more or any less before or after. Because there were some very like dramatic saves before that happened
of course.
Where it's like, had the squirrel not been part of it, like
so, see, for me, it's like, I've said, I think this is the most Superman movies have ever been. Even beyond Christopher Reeve's movies, which again, beautiful, beautiful film, especially the first one. I mean, the first 2/3 of the first one anyway. Really, really beautiful movie, but he doesn't capture Superman like the way this movie does. But what throws it over the edge for me is the squirrel scene. Because the idea that Superman would go out of his way for literally everyone, that's what sells it for me. Like if you told me,
I like that.
It's like if you had a Santa Claus movie and he didn't bother to give some random little kid a cookie or something, be like, no.
Okay. I get it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now that I have that perspective, because again, I am not a big follower of the comics. So, but lore wise, in terms of Superman's character, absolutely.
To me, that scene, because the one thing I've always been comparing Superman movies to is Captain America: First Avenger. Every time people ask me what my favorite Superman movie is, I'd always say Captain America: First Avenger, and I always pare it down to one specific scene, and that's when skinny Steve Rogers throws his helmet over the grenade. So that's the personality Superman needs to have. To me, that squirrel scene is the grenade scene for me. Like that scene that encapsulates Captain America's personality, that one encapsulates Superman's personality. So that scene is what makes it my favorite Superman movie now. You know what I mean?
Okay, no, respect. I like it. And it makes sense. It makes sense in the long run in terms of his character. I will say, like, by the end of this movie, I was very much like, I want to watch like a prequel. I want to see more about his family. I want to see more with Supergirl. Like Supergirl just like drove by and picked up her dog and left.
Good news. Next year, I think. Have Supergirl.
They still. I was like, I've only known her for like 30 seconds, but
I'm really like, because this movie is so like on brand for the characters of Lex and Superman and Guy Gardner. I don't know, Metamorpho seemed a little bit kind of dark here compared to the comics, but like Supergirl is so off from any version I could think of in the comics. I don't know where James Gunn's going to go with this, but I'm sure it'll be good.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
Now, you're not a big superhero, fan, but you are a big fan of anime. And
I am.
I've been watching a little bit of this Sakamoto Days recently on Netflix. And I want to ask you about that because, like, I know One Piece is your thing.
Yeah.
I still haven't gotten past, I think Alabasta is where I'm at still.
Wow.
I've got a ways to go. I
Yeah,
understand
that's
there's
okay.
There's like 100 more episodes, I think, something like that.
At least.
Yeah. But what do you think of this new series so far?
So I was sold by the premise. Like, there's something about like hitmen, yakuza members, just any sort of that trope who becomes a soft husband.
Exactly.
I adore that premise. It's so cute. I'm a big fan of Way of the House Husband as well. So I was like, that's why. Yeah. So I'm a big fan of that one. Haven't watched season 2 yet, but because of that premise, I was like, I'm gonna jump into Sakamoto Days and see what it's like. Now, granted, I'm only 4 episodes in, and it's a slow burn right now. Like I feel like I've barely like. We haven't even left the station of the roller coaster yet.
Okay, wait. Have you? I can't remember which episodes. The last one I saw. Have you finished? Have they left the carnival, the amusement park?
No, that's the episode I'm on. They were about to go to the park.
Dang it! Because there's something specific that happens in the next episode that bothered me.
Ooh.
And I can't ask you about it now.
Oh, now I have to. Okay, let me go watch it real quick.
Okay.
No, that's literally the episode that we're about to watch.
Because here's the thing. I wanted to like Way of the House Husband. Like a friend of mine showed me the manga, and I really dug it. It was exactly what I wanted. It had the vibe that I wanted. Like he's a trained killer, but he's not doing that anymore. It's great. I love it. But then the animated series came out, and apparently the mangaka, the creator, said that he wanted it to feel more like the comic. So it has a very stilted animation. And I get the vision. I understand the vision, but I couldn't keep watching it. Like it was just it was just too like I like experimental animation. I really do.
Yeah.
But for this story, it didn't feel right.
Oh, and I loved the animation style of it. I think that's also what like caught me on a little bit more too. But that's just a personal preference for me. In terms of animation for Sakamoto Days, though, I'm not a big fan of it. I like the way Sakamoto's animated, but just him.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. What I don't like about Sakamoto Days so far is that it's very shonen. Which, I mean, obviously it is, right?
Yes.
But I wasn't expecting it to have like a character
fairy tale
like
feel.
Yeah, it feels like it's like characters from One Punch Man or from Hero Academia just suddenly showing up. And I'm like, I was really hoping for more. Like, I don't mind like the whole John Wick thing where they're like assassins that do more than real people could do. But like when you start throwing in like, I don't know, it just became like, I feel like I'm expecting somebody's hair to turn blonde suddenly and they get more powers.
No, I get it. Yeah.
It's not the vibe I was hoping for, you know?
Yeah, I'm giving it, I usually do a 5 episode rule for myself where if by 5 episodes I'm not like, oh my God, I need to know what happens next, I usually drop the series. With anime, it's hard because sometimes anime takes a little bit longer.
Yeah. And I think I'm just like 2 episodes past you, and that's why I'm really curious what you're going to think about that.
Yeah. Well, we'll meet back up next week, and I'll probably have watched a few more, and then we can provide an update. But so far, like I'm on board. I want to see where it goes. I want to see if it's something that I'm going to stay on the roller coaster or jump off before we leave the platform. Because I'm intrigued by the general premise of it and hoping it warms up a little more. But right now, I'm just like, okay, where are we going? Yeah,
I get it, and again, that's kind of the like I loved Hero Academia. You know, but I didn't get past season 3, I think, because at that point it was just spinning wheels.
Yeah.
You know, but I really loved the world of it, you know, and the biggest thing I loved about it is that as a Marvel and DC comic book fan, every character in that show, even background characters, have a parallel to an American comic book character because the creator of that is a big fan of it. And I felt like the Sakamoto Days, it feels like the creator of this is doing the Yakuza thing, but he's also a fan of other shonen.
Yeah.
So he's going to throw in those shonen things. And it's like...
Yeah, agreed. I haven't read the manga for it, though, so I don't have that perspective on it. But,
I only read the first issue, or the first chapter, I guess, really, not even the first issue. And I enjoyed it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I've been doing a thing where I've been watching a lot of older stuff lately. Oldest thing I've watched this weekend, though, was Quest for Fire.
Quest for Fire.
I think that was Ron Perlman's first movie. Basically, actually, I met him once, and I had him sign my DVD case, even though I wasn't supposed to because I was interviewing him for a newspaper. But anyway, it was 25 years ago. Anyway, Quest for Fire is a movie about Neanderthals trying to find fire, like literally that.
Okay.
There is no modern human language in the movie. It's so your main characters are these Neanderthals, right? But there's also these like a little bit farther down the evolutionary chain primate humans that are there attacking them. But there's also these like other type of like maybe an offshoot of Neanderthals. And then there's some modern humans that are there too. And it's very fascinating. What I think is really interesting though is I was reading the Wikipedia on it after watching it, and I was like, it says that the anthropologists at the time were complaining that there's no way these different stages of human evolution would interact with each other. Whereas from today's point of view, we now know that that definitely happened a lot. So like, it's actually pretty interesting. But it's just this concept of having an entire movie that has no language anybody can understand. And the fact that it's not even the only early 80s movie that did that. Because there's also Clan of the Cave Bear with Daryl Hannah, which I'm trying to track down. I haven't seen that one in 30 years. It's just like, I mean, I don't know. Would you do that? Would you watch movies about half-naked people that don't speak any language running through the mud?
Yeah, why not? It's intriguing. Also, I'm very intrigued by the fact that, like, I don't know, movies that, like, don't have speech, like, it's just a genre in itself that I feel like is enjoyable. It's enjoyable by a certain, like, group of audiences, but, like, if the story's there, it's there. I don't need people to be like verbalizing it to me frame by frame. I like you've already sold me on it just by your description alone.
And when you say that movies that don't have speech, it's reminding me of a movie I saw a couple years ago called Mad God, which I mentioned here before briefly.
Yes, yeah, I remember you talking about it.
Yeah, Phil Tippett was an animator on a bunch of things, Star Wars and other stuff. And he apparently made this stop motion movie over the course of 30, 40 years. And it is nonsensical, but still kind of has a plot, but actually no main characters. It's really fascinating, and there's almost no language in it. You know what I mean? And I can really dig it sometimes. You know, because it's like sometimes these weird experimental things really knock it out of the park. Yeah,
that's the same thing I said about Napoleon Dynamite.
That movie should not have been as good as it was because it has
so good.
So
we watched
elements.
it last night just for fun. I was like, just let me watch this tonight, and I forget how just absolutely absurdly silly it was, and how it opened doors for Latinos as class president. Okay,
I went to San Diego Comic-Con last week. There was a dog wearing a Vote for Pedro shirt walking around, like an actual dog.
I'm glad it's still a thing at cons. Oh man.
There's a little animated short that I use in my class every year, and it has this little planet doing a little dance, and it's clearly doing like a Napoleon Dynamite thing. And I swear I heard kids in the classroom where we were going over it mention Napoleon Dynamite while we were watching it. So clearly it's still in the zeitgeist. I don't know.
It's timeless. Oh man. But yeah, I watched another movie for the first time that's actually pretty well known. Well, I will say, for the first time completely from start to finish while sober.
Okay.
And that's V for Vendetta.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The first time I watched it, I was in college and I was drunk and I didn't finish the movie. I don't know if it was because we got distracted. I just remember didn't finish the movie. So now I'm like, you know what? I'll watch it. Let's watch it. And never have I watched a movie that really motivated me to set government buildings on fire. For legal purposes, that is a joke. But you know what I mean?
We at My Primos podcast do not verbally encourage that.
Yeah. But no, I was just like, I was very moved by just the entire scenario of this movie. Because again, it's one of those movies where I'm watching it, I'm like, oh my gosh, is this about us? And
so,
yeah.
Are you aware of the comic? I mean, obviously you're aware that it exists.
I know it,
but have you read it or
no, I want to now, though.
Well,
yeah.
I want to not spoil anything, I guess, but give, like one major difference between the comic and the movie is apparently they made the character of V a little bit less despicable in the movie than in the comic, but more so the idea that in the comic he's flat out advocating anarchy, but in the movie it's all about uniting the people together, which seems to be more of a democracy. And apparently the studio was really worried about advocating anarchy, so they changed that a little bit. And I'm just curious what you thought about that.
I remember reading, because after I watched the movie, I like to look up like trivia and stuff and read into it. And is the comic book set? It's not set in the UK. It's set in the US.
No, it's set in the UK.
It's set in the UK. Okay. Well, everything I read about the comic book itself, I want to pick it up and read it. Like obviously, I want to read the source material. first of all, Hugo Weaving's voice.
Always.
Yeah. So I'm just like, you tell me whatever you want and I'll do it. But like V had this very, it wasn't soft. It was
He
just
was
like
very
rightfully
vociferous.
stern. Yes.
In his evocations.
Yes. It was, everything just seemed to make perfect sense as to why it was being done. And the paths that he was explaining, I'm like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Why, like, and Natalie Portman's character, it took me a bit for me to be like, oh, okay, I see why she is the way she is. She was bugging me so much. I'm like, girl, come on, get out of that mindset. Because V is like very much, this is how it should be. This is how society should act together. And then you get the origin story and you're like, okay, girl, let's hurry it up. Can we like, I don't understand. But, no, as a character, V seemed very calm and very mentally organized. And so hearing about that contrast to his character in the comic book, I want to see how that plays out.
So V's vision was very vivid.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm really trying to think of V words because that's like all he does.
Just like it, I was like alliterations. Okay. Right. Really pulling out all those V words out of the thesaurus in one sentence.
Yeah. Without pulling out my dictionary.
Yeah. But whenever that part came up, I looked at Ray and I was like, that's a lot of V words. Yeah. No, it was a great movie. It really motivated me to want to scream about things a little bit harder.
Honestly, I've been having trouble. There's some movies that I wanted to go and rewatch, but given the world today, I don't know if I can. Like one of my favorite comedies is Born in East LA. And it's a movie about government agents busting in and just picking people up without checking if they're actually citizens or not, and then deporting them. You know, I don't know if I can watch that right now. Like it's sitting on the DVD sitting on my shelf, and I'm like, yeah. But to distract myself, the other thing I've been doing lately is video games. I've been playing the new Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is I know that you do streaming, so you definitely know the games. I'm so a gamer. I don't actually play a lot of new games a lot. I usually do like one AAA game a year at most. And right now it is definitely Donkey Kong Bonanza. Yeah. I think most of the way through it, although I have the feeling there's going to be more game to it in a minute. Yeah. So it's actually it's a lot of fun. The thing with the new games, it's like, and I've noticed this like with like the Legend of Zelda series, with even like the Super Mario series, like the base, you think it's the base game and you have something and it just keeps going. Like they're really expanding on these new games a lot more. So plus the whole open world thing that so many games have, like if you were just going to just beat the boss, get to the boss, I'd be much further right now. But I'm one of those guys that I want to find every single banana. You know what I mean? So no, I get it. There's a lot to uncover. A lot of little mini games inside of it. Like there's a few mini games that are specifically recreating Donkey Kong Country from the early '90s, which is pretty cool. So it's a lot of fun, and the idea that literally they designed like the Zelda game, the last two big Zeldas. Echoes of Wisdom was great, but the last two, the 3D Zeldas, they had where you could climb anywhere, right? Well, here you can destroy almost anything, and it's like that's fun. And the thing is, you go to the map after you've destroyed stuff, and they're destroyed on the map. So it's like they for the most part stay destroyed. Hold on to okay. Like not everything, but most things will just stay destroyed, and that's kind of I wasn't expecting that. I thought I was gonna like just respawn. You move the frame and it comes back. Yeah. I mean the bad guys do, but like if I destroy a mountain, that mountain's flat. You know what I mean? So it's like dang. Interesting. And it's a lot of fun. Plus, it's really neat with the idea that most Nintendo games don't have a speaking main character. Like their brand on games, you know what I mean? But this one has Pauline as the sidekick, and she is talking in almost every scene. Nice. And they actually have a voice actor for her and everything. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting that they're like, well, we're not going to give you a talking protagonist, but we are going to give you a talking protagonist. Yeah. And it's pretty adorable. Although I love how fans are like freaking out about the canon of it all because, like, you know me, I'm big on canon. I always want continuity to make sense. Well, Pauline's whole deal in the original games is that she was Mario's ex-girlfriend, and then in the most recent Mario game, she was the mayor of the city. Yeah. Well, this game takes place before she met Mario, and she's a teenager, and she's hanging out with Donkey Kong, which, that's fine, except Cranky Kong, the current Kong's father or grandfather, depending on how you ask, is supposed to be the original Donkey Kong that encountered Pauline. And he's in this game too. So like, and he even talks about the original game. He even talks about, when I played the old games, and it's like, but wait, And Nintendo is basically like, don't worry about it, you know. But like,
Oh.
but the fans are like, it doesn't.
No,
make
we're
sense.
gonna worry about it. Yeah. Someone make the flow chart. Someone
Yep.
draw the flow chart. Make it make
those
sense.
exist. Those exist.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh my God. But another cool thing in game news that we got this past week, we have a new Katamari game on the horizon.
Yes. Literally, a friend of mine's been texting me pictures regularly saying it's coming.
Oh,
It's coming. It's
oh
coming.
my God. You can make your own cousin, your own primo. Oh my God. And then I love the like just little fact that there are now 69 cousins canonically in the game. And they made that a part of the trailer. Yeah. Very nice. Yeah. No, I'm excited. It's been a bit since a new Katamari game has come out. It's probably one of my favorite video game series. And no, I'm very excited, and I'm glad it's not just on the Switch, because I haven't gotten a new Switch. I don't plan on it for a bit because money, and I have my old one still works. So, but it is going to be available on PC, so I can definitely play it.
Isn't it? A lot of games are coming out for Switch and Switch 2. I would imagine that one would be one of those, or is it only Switch 2?
I'm not sure. I saw it Nintendo Switch on there. They didn't have like one or two on there, but it just said
then
Nintendo Switch.
probably just says the one. Okay.
Yeah. But
All
no, I'm very excited. I go Namco. They were keeping it quiet because I know a lot of us in the fandom were just like, when are we getting a new game? When are we getting, like, we haven't heard anything. And then they just dropped that during the Nintendo announcements, and we're like, oh, okay. Like, hello. It was great. And it's an all new soundtrack. They've already dropped like a preview of one of the songs, and it sounds so fun. So I'm excited. It's my happy game.
Yeah, we're all going to need to roll that up. So with that being said, I think this has been a great show. I want to thank you. I don't think you and I have gotten a one-on-one in a while.
No.
So good to be back in the game.
Yeah.
Any upcoming projects or events you're doing?
Yeah. Let's see. By the time this comes out, the weekend after, I will be in Austin for the release of From Cocinas to Lucha Libre. I've rearranged that title so many times. But there's a book, and I have it on social media. And I'll be at First Light Books in Austin on Sunday the 17th, and I'll be there with fellow creators who also contributed to this comic book. So if you're in the Austin area, come by, see us, pick up a copy of the book, and if you're not around, don't worry, I'll be posting pre-order links everywhere. So there's that, and then I'll also be raising money all through the month of August for Breakthrough T1D, because the 14th is my 25th anniversary of being diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. So I'm celebrating.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. No, it's like bittersweet. It's like, yeah, 25 years, but also like I'm still alive. So I'm celebrating by eating sugar-free candy until I shit myself. So
that sounds like a funny. You
Listen,
know what? That's a stream people need to watch.
I'm just saying.
That same weekend that you're doing that book event, I'm going to be in Round Rock, Texas for Colossal Con, giving a couple talks there. So that's the 16th and 17th. So Primos, if you're going to be there for either of our events in the Austin area, please come check us out. And
you're going to have two Primos in one area. Like, come on, support.
Be in the same area code. With that, Elia, how can people find you online?
Don't.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm just kidding. No. Spice illustrations everywhere. I'm usually gobbing my mouth on all social media.
That's honestly what you should be doing. I'm trying to get more and more active. It's always, I go through spurts of like, I'm active and then I'm not. I'm active and then I'm not.
Same. Yeah.
Well, when I am active, I'm at Kevin Garcia _com on most social medias, like Instagram and TikTok, where I've got some new videos out.
Hey.
Beyond that, you can find all of us at myprimospodcast.com, as well as wherever you might be listening to us right now. I know it's hard to believe, but like if you're hearing us on Spotify, we're on Spotify. If you're hearing us on iTunes, we're on iTunes. We're wherever you heard us. And if you're seeing us on YouTube through your eye holes, we will fill them. We'll fill them so well.
All the holes. Kevin's good at that. He's our professional hole filler. Is that too far? No? Not far enough.
I've come to accept it. It's a gift. I was born with it, and I have to share my gift with the world.
Look at that. Positive outlook. Kevin Garcia.
And with that, we'll head out. So, Primos, wherever you are, you'll always be a Primo.
Hell yeah.
Bye. And we're out.
Yay.
Thank you for watching My Primos Podcast. My Primos podcast is brought to you by Gume and my Primos Productions. This week's host for Elia Maria Madrid and Kevin Garcia. Music provided by Team Color. Follow them at Team Color Music. Thanks again for watching, listening, and sharing, Primos. And we'll see you next time. Adios.